Those who are studying online. Lee.
This meeting is being recorded.
Those who are joining online, am I audible properly to everyone? Okay. In the last session, we discussed about Spring Boot starters, right? What we discussed? Spring Boot starter. So what is a one line definition for starters? That these are the dependency descriptor. Means they will give description of all the dependencies that are required. If you want to work with only database using Spring, so Spring hyphen boot hyphen starter hyphen data hyphen. This is the starter and Now audible properly? Those who are joining online? Okay, fine. So yesterday we discussed about Spring Boot starter. In that, let's say if you are talking about starter data JPA, these are the dependency descriptor. It means that when we are keeping this dependency, it will collect all the required jar files. Any doubt in starters? Today we are going to discuss about Spring JDBC module. Spring JDBC module. Core module is already done, or you can say that as core container. Now we are starting the JDBC module of Spring. If we talk about JDBC, it is Java Database Connectivity. Now I will start the discussion here with the very simple term. What is database? If I am asking a question, what is database? What will be your answer? Hmm? My question was, what is database? What is database? I'm not asking which is database. See, before starting the Spring's JDBC module, you have to understand the entire working. So if I am asking that what is database, so you can give a one-stop answer where data is stored. Where data is stored. Why we need database? What is the need of database? Why do we need database? For storing data, to reuse data. Yes, to reuse data. Now let's understand one particular situation. And the situation is, this is Instagram.com. What is this? This is Instagram.com, or like any social media application. Any social media app. Now you are going to this social media for the first ever time. Before today, you never visited it. It will ask you to create your account. Generally, you can create your account with email and by giving a password. Now, let's say in the field of email, I have written my email ID. So I will write a random email ID. I have written shivam at the rate of gmail.com. I have written this email ID and my password is password. Now I logged in into this app. I scrolled it. I followed someone. I liked some of the post. I commented on some of the post. I saved some of the reels or whatever. Means you did one particular operations here. And after using this social media app for 1 hour, you closed it. Generally, we will not close in 1 hour. The scrolling should at least be of 3 4 hours, right? So we will not close in 1 hour. Let's say in 4 hour you close the scrolling. Next day again you are coming to the same social media application. The next day again you are coming to the same social media application. Now this social media application does not have any database. When you are going second day, in the first day of your browsing or surfing, you have saved 10 videos or simple way reels or shorts or anything. Simply, I will keep that in your account. You have saved 10 reels because you liked them too much that tomorrow again I will watch them. But when you came next day on the app, again it is asking you to create your. But when you app, again it is asking you to. I am expecting that it should remember that there is one user shivam at the rate of gmail.com and the password is password. I am expecting that this application should remember these two things. I am expecting that this application should remember my values, but it is not remembering. So again, we have to create a new account. Again, we have to do the same thing. What is the problem in that? Biggest problem? Consumer happiness is the biggest happiness for businesses. Consumer means the customer. The customer get frustrated. Again, every time I have to create account and do the things. That is also not a problem. One day you liked 10 videos and you saved them. Next day you lost all your data. Generally, it happens with all of us that you liked someone, some reels, and you just saved it so that tomorrow you can watch it again or whenever you are feeling low or high at that time. But next day, those 10 videos are also not there. Now, this is the frustrating moment. That is why databases are required so that the request and response time is very less between the user and the server. So this is how we start learning databases. What is database? Database is something where data is stored. Databases. Database can be defined as a physical or virtual space where data is stored. This is the real definition that your database can be your physical database or as well as virtual database. Now let's say this is my physical database. Here you can see that I am having one notes folder. Inside that these are the subject Spring Boot April folder, then 17th April where I have a file. This is also data, right? Now this data is stored in my C drive or in my laptop, and that particular disk is fixed into my laptop physically. If you open the back panel of this laptop, you will see that. For me, it is physical. In the second way, I am giving you notes on Google Classroom, right? These notes I am giving you on Google Classroom as well. So let's say yesterday we gave you the notes of Spring Starters. Is this stored in your hard drive? No. My hard drive? No. Where? Drive. It is stored on Google Drive. Where it is stored? Google Drive. Drive.google. It is stored in Google Drive. And Google Drive is Virtual space. Virtual means that you can't see, can't touch, can't feel. Virtual. So a database can be virtual or physical, both. Oracle database is physical or virtual? You might have worked on SQL database, that is Oracle or MySQL. Is it physical or virtual? Think again and answer. Virtual, physical. Have you seen that? I am saying that these notes are stored in my physical database. So I will open my laptop's back panel and I will show you that hard drive. Now show me Oracle. But search it and tell me tomorrow. Is it physical database or virtual database? So database can be defined as a physical or virtual space where data is stored. Now, why do we need a database? This is the important part actually. Why do we need databases? Why do we need? The first thing, to store the logging details of user. Logging details of the user so that user is not required to create a new account every time, right? You don't have to create a new account every time. That's why we need a database. First reason is this. Now you are going to instagram.com and you're opening any particular channel. Let's say you went to instagram.com and here you will write these values and here you put your credentials. Let me show you. You went to the website of Instagram. This is just zoomed here. You can keep your mobile number or like these kind of details you can keep along with your password. Tomorrow when you are coming again you have to keep the things. In that way, it is going to be quite hectic. So first thing is that it can store the logging details of the user. What is the second important point according to you that we need database? It can store what? Database will store every time, right? But what? What a database can store except the logging details of the user? Database can store all the sessions of user. What is one session? What is one session? Time period. So if you have to give the definition of this session, a session is time period between login and logout. So the time that you spent on one application between login and logout. Login logout doesn't mean that you are logging out, you are closing the application. Let's say I will open my Instagram at 9 p.m. at 9:30 closed. So this 30-minute time is the session of 30 minutes for me, right? This 30-minute session. So your database can store the session. Now you can do anything in this session. You can like any post reel. It is stored somewhere. You might not see, but if you are going deep into the settings, you can see which post you have liked last time, where you have commented. Everything is stored. So that's why database is necessary. Now we will come to types of databases. How many types of databases we have? Yes, how many types of database we are having? Physical and virtual. Huh? Types of data, four. So many. Like, hmm, types of database. Type. I'm not asking database examples or database name. Hmm? Databases on the basis of nature of storing the data. This is the line I am adding, that on the basis of nature of storing the data means how they will store the data. Databases are of two types. First is relational databases. Relational databases that you call as RDBMS, right? Relational databases. And second are non-relational databases. Non-relational databases. Any knowledge about these two, relational and non-relational? The word itself is saying relation. It means that in the relational databases, the data will be stored with a relation with each other. Let's say you are storing the data of a employee and you are storing three information of employee: employee ID, then you are storing employee name, and then you are storing employee salary. So these are the three details that you are storing. Now how data will be stored? Data will be stored in rows and columns, right? Data will be stored in rows and column. So like this values will be stored. In relational databases, data is stored in tabular format. Which format? Tabular. Tabular means rows and columns. Same thing we will mention here as well. In relational databases, the data is stored in tabular format. Tabular means that data will be stored in rows and columns. Then how data is stored in non-relational databases? Yes, in non-relational databases, how data is stored? Example for relational database: Oracle, MySQL, Postgres SQL, or these two you will use. So these two only, etc. Oracle, MySQL, non-relational database. These are the database which do not store the data in row and column format. Then how they store? They generally use tree structure or JSON format. JSON means nothing, just a object, that is JavaScript's object, which looks something like this. That name colon something, ID colon something, salary colon something. So it will store data either like this or in tree structure. Example for this, MongoDB, right? MongoDB, which is generally used with Python. For Java, these two are used. For Python, Mongo, it's not compulsory, but most of the cases will be of Oracle and MySQL with Java, MongoDB with Python. So this is about database. This is about database. Hierarchical database. I have written here on the basis of nature of storing the data, how they are storing. So in that way, this non-relational database generally creates a tree structure of hierarchy. Then this tree, then this, like that they will create. Why we are discussing all these things? Because we are coming to one part, that is Spring JDBC module. Now, database we know. Before that, what is this new thing JDBC? What is JDBC? Justification? Justification for specification for developing database applications. Okay. What kind of database applications? Like I didn't get this part. Specification. JDBC is Java Database Connectivity. Java Database Connectivity. I will show you MySQL database. So as it is already installed within my system, when I'm teaching you this, I will show you the installation also. As of now, you can see the database. So this is how MySQL is looking. So we'll go with, and these are the things inside my database, right? So it looks a bit complex. This is the workbench of MySQL. Yes, queries are almost same because both depend on SQL. I will show you the command line of MySQL. So I kept my password and here MySQL is coming. Now I will write a query here that show databases. So these are the databases that are available within my MySQL. That is book my ride, data JP, a demo, employee, MPMS, form, hyper information, like many to many, MySQL. Lot of are available. I want to create a new database for you. So no, these are the database name. These are not the table name. What query I have written? Show databases. Show databases means all the database will be visible now. This book my ride was the final project that we did in the last batch. This book my ride, it was replica of book my show or this red bus, where you can book the bus ticket from Hyderabad to other cities, and there will be fixed ticket available. Let's say you are trying to book a ticket from Hyderabad to Pune, so only 10 tickets are available per day. Now if ticket is available and data was going into database. So I will show you this database only, book my ride. Now I want to use this database, book my ride. So use book my ride. I am writing all the queries by having a knowledge that you are already familiar with databases and you know all the queries. So if you are facing problem in understanding any query, please don't get hesitate, ask immediately so that I can explain that query. No need to worry if you don't know anything in database also I am there. But you should ask that, right? I am not a magician to read your minds. Okay. Now I will write one query, show tables. Now these are the tables in this book my ride application. To BLR means to Bangalore, to GTR means to Guntur, to VZG means to Vizag. Means our application was supporting these three cities that you can book the ticket. And at last you can download a PDF file also of your ticket. Front end was written in React, back end was handled using Spring Boot, database was MySQL. It was a working application and this we did. Now all these things we will do later, like same kind of application or some different application we will build for you. So this was we did last time. Lot of others are there when we were discussing about Spring JDBC. This was the database. Now even I forgot what we did in this show tables. So we worked on a employee table and one student table. So like that we will do. Now let's say I will show this student table. I will write a query that is DESC student. What does it mean? Describe student. What it will do? Show the structure of table. So these are the structure of table that we are having two field, one ID in int and one name in varchar. If I want to check what is the data written inside this table, it's not a star, it's asterisk. So these are the two data for two students is available here. How this data is stored here? By creating rows and columns. This ID 1, 2, this is one column. Name Sandeep Mukesh, this is one column. So data is, this is one row, this is another row. So data is stored in rows and columns. That's why we are calling it as relational database. And this database is MySQL database. Now I want to create a new database. So I will say create database Spring 2, something like this. So now this database is also created by the name Spring 2. Can we check it? So yes, I will hit a query, show databases. And here you can see Spring 2. This is a empty database as of now. If I'm trying to check tables inside this database, so tables, it is saying empty set. It is saying empty set means no table is there. If you notice here, we are not writing any system.out.println. We are not writing int a equals to 2, string n equals to Shivam. We are not writing any Java code here. Then what is the benefit of learning Java if we can't work with MySQL in our own language, right? Our language is Java. That's what our basis is. Now, if we are not able to work on this database in our own language, anyhow, these queries are very small, small queries, two, three words like that. But even though, why we are not working on this database with our own language, that is Java. So, uh, everyone was facing this problem. So, Sun Microsystem, the previous owner of Java, they came with a solution, that is JDBC. For Oracle, it is OJDBC, but name is same actually. The driver is different. JDBC. Now they gave us something as JDBC. Now, if you are going to their own website, just type JDBC and go to the website of Oracle, because Oracle is the owner of Java now. So they will say Java JDBC API. What they will say? Java JDBC API. So this JDBC is an API. It's not any specification, nothing. It is an API. So you can read this single line, that Java Database Connectivity API provides universal data access from the Java programming language. Just one line. Using the JDBC API, you can access universal data. And universal data means from any kind of database, you can access data from the Java programming language. Means you can write the code in Java programming language and you can access the data. But what is the requirement of writing the code in Java programming language? Now it is our mother tongue, right? Now it has become our mother tongue. So that's why JDBC is an API. Now I will take my entire discussion to API. What is API? Say answer except applications programming interface. You should say the answer except the full form. What is an API? We understood that JDBC is an API. But what is an API? How you will define an API? Collection of packages is API. If we do any task by help of any other class, we can say it API. Wrong answer. Scanner S equals to new scanner system.in. Now here you will use scanner class to take input. Is it API? No. So API has two meaning. API. Just understand the full form of API. Is it visible? Okay. API means application programmer interface. Now, what is the work of this API? So the first work of this API is to make a connection between two different technologies or programming languages. What it will do? It will make a connection between two different technologies or programming languages. Now, technologies means, let's say there are two human beings and they are from different regions of the country. Let's say there are these two human beings and both of them are from different region of the country. This person is from north, which is comfortable in talking in Hindi. This person is from south where Telugu or Tamil is highly spoken language. Now there is problem with both of these, that this A person does not know any other language than Hindi, and this B person does not know any other language in except this Telugu. Let's remove Tamil here. Now if they want to communicate with each other, how they will communicate? I am asking real time scenario. Let's say our prime minister is going to Japan. Now Japanese prime minister will understand Japanese language. Our prime minister generally talks in Hindi, so they will take one translator with them. There will be a human being who knows either languages, means both Japanese as well as Hindi. Now let's say our prime minister greeted the Japanese prime minister by saying hello. Now that message the translator will translate into Japanese. Now if Japanese prime minister is saying something in Japanese, let's say how are you, so the translator will translate that particular part to Hindi or in a language that you can understand. Now if this A and B wants to talk, they need something in between. They need something in between which has complete knowledge, or not complete but enough knowledge of both Hindi and Telugu. Then only they can talk. But this is a very risky way of talking. Chat leaks. Anyways. So they will communicate with each other with the help of a translator. Now this translator is just nothing. It's a interface. And what is interface? Where you are interacting. Let's say I will open a website, facebook.com. Facebook.com. Now, this is the interface of Facebook where you will interact, where you will write your email ID, where you will write your password. Now, nowadays technology is so high that we don't need any human being, right? Now, we can use one service provided by Google, that is Google Translate. For medium kind of communication, we can trust Google Translate. But don't trust Google Translate everywhere because a lot of things are wrong there. Personal experience. So now we can use Google Translate. This Google Translate will work as a interface. We will just see an example of it. Let's say you are converting something from English to Telugu. Just an example. Now this is a interface of Google Translate. Now I will type one message here and it will be translated into Telugu, right? So what is this? A communication interface where two different person, two different technology, two different programming languages will communicate with each other. Now one more example. Here a code is written something like this: system.out.println hello. Here some code is written like this. Now we can simply say that this is the Java code, right? We can say that this is the Java code to print hello. Now our Java application is trying to say hello to MySQL database. Now database will say create database. Now our Java don't know what is create database, and MySQL or your Oracle database don't know what is system.out.print. So they can't communicate with each other. Now we need something in between of them. So what we need in between of them? We need one interface. What we need? We need one interface where both Java can talk, MySQL can also talk, and interface will revert their message. So interface will take the message from Java hello, and it will convert this hello to a message like this: create database hello, or any other purpose. Now, when you are creating a database, generally you will get one message: query OK, one row affected. Now, our Java don't know what is query OK, one row affected. So this MySQL again will send one message to this trans interface. This interface will revert the message in a language that Java can understand. System.out.print database created. That's why we call them as interface. What interface? Application programming interface, where programming will talk to each other, not human being. There is no human involvement. There is no human involvement. Programming will talk to each other. That is the first use of API, to make a connection between two different technologies or programming languages. This is the first use. There is one second use of APIs. There is one second use of API, that is requesting the data from a particular source. Requesting the data from a particular source. Now, there is one website, and that website is AccuWeather. AccuWeather. I will go to this website and I will search. Okay, by default, it is showing me the temperature of Hyderabad, which is right now 32°C. The current temperature of Hyderabad is 32°C. Do you really think that one website can calculate the temperature of something? Yes. How? My doctor used thermometer for that. Huh? I will say to doctor that why are you putting this thermometer in my mouth? Use one website. Logic is there, right? If website is really capable of detecting the temperature, then why doctors are using thermometers? They can use one website and type the address Shivam there. You are having fever today. Temperature is always recorded by sensors. It is never recorded by websites. Never. Let's say there is a website AccuWeather. AccuWeather owned by Srikar. Srikar is the owner of this website. Now there is sure possibility that you cannot record temperature without sensors. Sensors are required at ground level. So now let's say this is the map of entire Hyderabad. Just understand that this is Hyderabad. Now what the company of Shrikar did, they installed some of the sensors. Now let's say this is one sensor in KPHB, one in Kukatpalli, one in Amirpet, one in Secunderabad, or like that. They have installed physical sensors. Physical sensors I'm talking about. Now this sensor can be a pointing gun also, that we have seen during the COVID time, that they will point towards forehead and they will detect temperature. It can be any scientifical instrument. Now what they did, they have placed a sensor all around the corner, and each and every sensor is recording the real temperature and sending it to a database. Now this is the physical server installed in entire Hyderabad. In the same time, they will be having database also. Now, how this database will go? Let's say this particular data center is of KPHB, where we are sitting right now. The current temperature here is 32 degrees Celsius. So what this sensor did? This sensor recorded the temperature. Now this sensor is not any virtual, it is physical server. Now this particular part has sended the data. How it will send data? Have you ever seen thermometers? What I am asking, you might have seen. So that there is a particular, how can I say this? There is a particular small ball kind of thing that will go up. Thank you, sir. So that array. So do you guys think I don't know Mercury? I am just saying that that ball is going upwards to tell you the temperature level. That okay, this Mercury is getting upward till 98.6, which is the normal human body temperature. So in the same way, this sensor recorded the data. And now this sensor is sending into a raw database that okay, 32 is the temperature, wind speed is 10 kilometer per hour, and there is 60% chance of rain. Three values it is sending by recording them physically. Now, the company of Shrikar, what they are doing, they are storing the data in database. But what is the benefit of implying lot of sensors in the world? It will cost them too much. Of course, it will. But they can sell this data now in the form of API. Now, let's say there is one person, XYZ person, he want to build a website. He want to build a website. Let me show you one weather website as well. And this is from my own creation in my classes. Now here I will type the location Hyderabad and we got the temperature of Hyderabad. Now I am telling that current temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, wind speed is 14.4 kilometer per hour, sunset already done on 6:32 p.m. I am saying that this website is my creation. So it means that I have installed sensor in Hyderabad. Data is always, temperature is always recorded by sensors. No other choice is there. Always recorded by sensors. Okay, I have installed some sensors in Hyderabad. Then what about European countries? Have I installed sensor there also? So the answer is no. Then how it is actually predicting the real temperature? Right? How is it predicting the real temperature? Because we are purchasing this data from somewhere. What we are doing? We are purchasing this. From where we are purchasing? From Srikar's company. Because he is already recording the data. Now I want to build a website to get a job, to teach you or anyway. Now I will pay. Generally, I am not paying anything. This is a free API. And free API means that you can only check the temperature of district or big cities. If you are writing your village name, it will not detect because it is free API. So there are restrictions. Now, let's say I am purchasing data from him. How this data will come? This is my website. This one. Here I have written Hyderabad. Here I have written Hyderabad. How this data will come? You want to check how this data is coming? I'll show you. Hyderabad. Don't check my API key, it's my personal one. This is how this data is coming. The data that you are seeing in this format, this data is actually coming in this particular format. And which is this format? JSON format. JSON means object. Location, name Hyderabad, region Telangana, country India, latitude value, longitude value, local time is this, means this is the local time. Temperature in Celsius is 30, temperature in Fahrenheit is 86. Is day, is day means sun is rising. Zero means false, so no, sun is not rising. Moderate or heavy rain with thunder. Current temperature of Hyderabad. So this website is showing data in a very good format. And how this website is getting the data is really this one. I will change the location from Hyderabad to, let's say, Guntur. Now the data of Guntur came. Location name as Guntur. So you can see one API key here. Don't check that. It is my personal one. So this is how this data is coming using the API key. Wind mph, wind kilometer per hour, 19.8 in Guntur. Shall we match this data? So here I will type Guntur. 19.8 kilometer per hour. So every single thing. So this data is coming from Srikar's company, just for a reference, because they are already storing the data in database and creating the JSON format of the data. So the same thing I have mentioned, that requesting the data from a particular source. So when I am writing Hyderabad here, I am requesting the temperature data of Hyderabad from the source. And what is the source? This is the source. api.weatherapi.com. It's a website. They have already installed the server. So we are purchasing from them. Not purchasing, it's free. But that is how data comes. So API do two things. First is they will make a connection between two pupils who don't have any common language, right? Now let's say I am delivering the lecture of Spring Boot here because of this language. If I don't know English, will I be sitting here? Not at all. There is no chance that I will be delivering this lecture. Now, that doesn't matter how good I am in Spring Boot. Not at all. Now, this English is becoming a communication between you and me, because you are zero in Hindi and I am zero in Telugu. So, no communication at all. But English is becoming a way to pay for our communication. So, this English is API between you and me. So API always do two things. What two things? First, it is used to make a connection between two different technologies. Second is also related actually. This database is sending data to my website. Again API only, because database is communicating with the front end, right? Database is communicating with the front end, but data will never come in this format. This is, we are presenting this data. Data will always come in this format. Always. This is called JSON format. Generally, API data comes in two format: JSON or XML. XML is already outdated, or like we don't use. JSON format we use. It's not JSON, it is JSON. JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. Getting mad. JSON. So data comes in two format, JSON and XML. This particular format is called JSON format. You can request this data in XML also. So here I will say, now this is the XML format, right? This is the XML format, that root in location, name, It is coming as a tag now. But why don't we fetch data in XML format? Because here you can't take out these values, right? Now I want to, let's say I search the temperature of Guntur, which is coming as 31.3. Same temperature, if I'm checking here, will be coming 31.3, same temperature. But if you are fetching the data in XML format, it will be very tough to show this 31.3 on website in JSON, as our website will be written in JavaScript, React, Angular, Vanilla JS, anything. It will be in JS. 110% sure. So it is very easy to work with JSON data in comparison of XML data. So again, this is XML data and this is JSON data. This one is JSON data. Now there is one module in Spring Boot that is creating APIs. I will teach you how you can create APIs also, so that you are also selling the APIs. You can creating the APIs. We'll see that. So that is API. The concept of API is clear or not? Clear? Okay. We started the entire discussion because we are discussing about JDBC, right? We started the entire discussion because we are discussing about JDBC. And what we have seen, JDBC is an API. API means it will be connecting two peoples of different technology with each other. Who are those two peoples? Who are those two peoples? Java and your database. So this JDBC will be connecting two things, your database and your Java application. Here it is your database and this is your Java application. So it will be connecting these two. This is Java application and this is your database. I am simply writing database. I am not mentioning Oracle, MySQL. It can be anything. So JDBC is working as an API. And now for working with JDBC, we are not required to write the code in Spring Boot only or Spring. Then why we are adding one more word before this Spring? Why we are adding this word before JDBC? Because it will solve many problems here. Generally, JDBC flow is like this. If you want to work with JDBC, so your flow will be, you have created a Java project and in that you have loaded the jar file of JDBC API and the MySQL connector J or OJDBC you have loaded. Now there are steps of writing JDBC program. First is loading the driver class. Second is connection URL. Connection URL will combine username and password. Username and password. Third is, what is third? You worked with JDBC or not? Then what are the steps? Worked with JDBC or not? Then what are the steps? In driver class, you might be writing something like this: com.mysql.cga.jdbc.driver, something like this. And connection URL localhost colon 3306 or Oracle colon PLSQL, like that. What is the next step? You have loaded the driver class, connection URL. What is the next step? Prepared statement. Prepared statement will come before query. Think. What is the flow of JDBC? Hey, flow of JDBC, I am asking. Flow of JDBC. Try and catch. Java application connecting with database. What are the flow? Flow means at first you will load the driver class. Okay. In the second way, you will make the connection request with the database by providing the local host with the username and password. What you will do on the third time? Create statement, prepare statement, callable statement. Where is query in this? Where are inputs in this? After loading the driver class, we will make a connection. Then after this, you can say two things that here we will prepare statement. You can say this, or you can say that you will create a query and then pass it. Interchangeable steps. And then you will give input, or you can give input before query and then give it, and then execute, and then closing the connection. Closing the connection. One time I am asking that if this part is not clear to you, JDBC, in one session we can complete that. I don't have any issue in that in normal Java without Spring Boot. If you know, then that is better. I will save my one day. Let's say this is the flow of your JDBC while you are working with Java, out of which every single thing is managed by you. Am I right? Is anything automatic here? Nothing is automatic. Every single thing is managed by you as a developer. But while you are talking to Spring Boot, means you're talking about Spring JDBC. When you are talking about Spring JDBC, loading the driver class, connection URL, these things will be managed by Spring Boot. Query, you don't have to write query even, right? Input you will give, and these kind closing the connection, it will be managed by Spring Boot. Now, if you don't know what is loading the driver class, connection URL, prepare statement, query, input, execute, closing the connection, your understanding in Spring JDBC will be 0%. That's why I am asking that in one session we can do JDBC, at least basics of JDBC that is required to work within Spring JDBC, that you can consider. Yes, those who are joining online, just drop a message. How many of you are done with JDBC? Not done. Hmm. Okay, no problem. If you don't know this, tomorrow we will take the session on JDBC because I don't want to give you a loose base in Spring. For that, JDBC is required, but we will be doing it with MySQL database. Queries are same by the way, and I will tell you the difference between Oracle and MySQL and what you need to change while working with Oracle. Okay, simple. Both are using JDBC only. Both are SQL database. SQL means structured query language. Both of them will be writing this. So like that. Tomorrow we will discuss about JDBC. Till then we will scroll the website given by Oracle for JDBC API. See, my source of knowledge has always been the documentations. Always. I never followed any course, any training, any YouTube, nothing. Never ever. I have always searched the things on Google that I want to learn and went to the official website. Now, why I trust official website? Let's say you want to know my address of Shivam. Who can better tell you my address? Shrikar? Huh? Aligarh. That is half address. The population of Aligarh is 3 crore. Find me there. Huh? Who can better tell you my address? Me itself. No one can tell you my address better than me. So who can tell about JDBC better than Oracle? No one. They are the developer of JDBC. So who will tell? So let's read this only. This line we have already read that JDBC is an API which provide the data access from Java, that using your Java you can make communication to your database. Using the JDBC API you can access virtually any data source. Any data source, doesn't matter from where data is coming, from relational database to spreadsheets and flat files. Spreadsheet means Excel. You know Excel? There is MS Word, MS Excel. So if your data is written in a Excel file also, then also JDBC can take that data. Surprising, right? No. You know this? It can take data from Excel also? Yes, it can take. And who is telling this? The official website of JDBC. That yes, you can take the data from relational database to spreadsheet and flat files. Flat files means normal notepad, wordpad file. Flat files. JDBC technology also provides a common base on which tools and alternate interfaces can be built. Means you can write some implementation. Generally, we have to implement the interfaces, right? Right or wrong? So you can increase the capability of JDBC. Scroll it more. The JDBC API is comprised of two packages. Means when you are loading JDBC API, you will get two packages, java.sql and javax.sql. You automatically get both packages when you download the Java platform SE8. Means you should download at least Java 8. You will get both these packages. Now, to use the JDBC API with a particular database management system, you need a JDBC technology based driver. What you need? A technology based driver. Means if you are working with MySQL, you need driver of MySQL. If you are working with Oracle, you need driver of Oracle. So read this till now and this is what you will get. Now that is done, but documentation is not ended here. Scroll at the bottom and here we see JDBC basics tutorial. Open this lesson JDBC basics. So here you can learn the basics of JDBC. So getting started. This is the first part. Open this. These are the steps. Install the latest version of Java SE SDK on your computer. Install your DBMS. Install a JDBC driver. Do these kind of things. Do these kind of things. Everything is mentioned there. Who can teach you JDBC better than Oracle? Go back. Establishing a connection. How you will establish a connection? These are the details for that. That you need driver manager and data source and something like this. This is the code that public connection get connection throws SQL exception. These are the properties. Everything is written, right? For MySQL, you have to write this link. For MySQL, you have to write this link to make a communication. Now, what else you need? Every single thing is written there. It is only good if you have a reading habit. Reading habit means you can sit for 2 3 hours and that is done, right? That is done. Now just understand that this is written in a book. See, all the other things are there. Using prepared statement. If you want to see how to use prepared statement, this is how we will use prepared statement. This is the code for this. What else you need now? Everything on the official website. No one can teach better than them. No one. But there you should have reading habit and Googling habit. Googling habit means, let's say you completed this paragraph. What you will study after this? Already they are saying next. Go to next. And next part came using transaction, right? But you should have very long reading habit and as well as you should have habit of getting the code because generally you are not able to understand the code written by someone else. If you have, then that is the best source. But not everyone can do this. That is also reality because it's a reading habit. So tomorrow I will give you the overview just as a benefit. I'm giving you that teaching JDBC. It is not a part of us. What is our part? That is Spring JDBC, where we will write the things very easily. But before writing easy thing, you should understand what are the hard things in JDBC. Why we are saying that this is very hard. So tomorrow we will understand JDBC. I will try to cover this in one session. It will not take more than one for basics. Then we will see how Spring JDBC works. Okay. So let's have a quick review of what we discussed today. And if you have any doubt in what we discussed today, you can ask. So we started our discussion with databases. Then we have seen why do we need databases. So generally two reasons for storing the logging details and the session of user. In session, your bank balance and all everything is recorded. That's why I have written one word as session. Types of database. So there are two type of database, relational and non-relational. Relational database will store the values in tabular format, that is row and column. Non-relation will generally store data in JSON format. After that, we have seen what is JDBC. So JDBC is an API to communicate with databases using Java. And then we have seen what is an API. If you are in the React batch also of mine, so we will work a lot on APIs. Lot. You will better understand APIs there. So how to work with APIs, how many type of APIs we are having, what are the ways of fetching them, what is the ways of using them, how you will convert, let's say, how you will convert this data into a good looking data. So all these things we will see, and APIs are generally used for two purposes. First purpose is they make a connection between two different technology or two different programming languages. They are used to fetch data from an external source. Then you will see REST APIs, RESTful web services, GraphQL. A lot things are there actually, but for you, API means that two different people can communicate with each other. So technically, this API is a translator. What is this API? Translator. Then whose connection will be built by JDBC? Who are the two peoples that they will talk? Java application. When I'm writing Java application means I'm talking about a particular code of Java. Now this person knows Java and this person understand SQL. Instead of database, I am writing SQL, that this person understand SQL and this person understand Java. So JDBC will come in between and it will say that, okay, you transfer your communication to me. I will help you to talk with each other. That's why JDBC is an API. Now, what is the definition of JDBC that we got today? JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. It is an API by Sun Microsystem, which helps a Java application to communicate with any kind of database. I'm writing any kind of database, not limited to relational only, but generally with Java, we are using relational databases. So this is the full form and the complete definition of JDBC now, that it stands for Java Database Connectivity and it is an API by Sun Microsystem. Tomorrow we will have session on Java plus JDBC. Means tomorrow Spring Boot class is not there, means Java JDBC class is there, where we will not talk anything about Spring Boot. Our entire discussion will be to understand how Java can talk with database. After that, we will see Spring JDBC. Then what Spring will do, right? Any doubt in what we discussed today? When you will start React batch, sir? React batch is already going on, sir. Tomorrow, Good Friday, sir. No holiday, sir. Sorry? Yes. JDBC is used in Spring Boot. So the JDBC of Spring is built over the top of normal JDBC. Means it will increase the power of JDBC. Angular batch. I stopped teaching Angular, man. I don't teach Angular now. Sir, I want to learn very fast. How much fast? Sairam, how much fast you want to learn? You cannot learn Spring Boot very fast. Never. If you are learning Spring Boot very fast means you are leaving the things. In next 2 months it completed. No, it will not complete in next 2 months. Can use. The entire Spring Boot course is for around 75 to 80 days, which sums up for 3 months. If you consider four holidays for Sunday in 3 months means 12 days extra. So they will sum up to around 90 to 92 days. We started on 20th of March. Count 3 months from 20th of March, April, May, and June. So by a normal mathematics, it is 20th of June. 10 days more you should add. Holidays, this, that, revision. So like that. Don't be in hurry in Spring Boot. Great things takes time. Next batch, I want to learn DSA for coding round. Could you suggest what I can do? Learn DSA. What I will suggest in that? If you are asking for any resources, I will say there are plenty of resources. Use only one.